here on Chalet, which of course is their map pick. Just quickly though, we did have, of course, the off-stream match between Cyclops and Kira Esports, the other South Asian team. That was on Chalet, and let me tell you guys, having watched it, it was surprisingly defender-sided. Make of that as you will.
Yeah, maybe the South Asia region has a special grip on this map. We'll have to wait and see whether or not MercenarieZ can provide the goods. And honestly, heading into the playoffs, you would, on paper, expect MercenarieZ to actually be stronger than Kira Esports. So, I mean, if Kira could take it up to Cyclops on this map, I see no reason why MercenarieZ could not do the same. And yeah, stakes are huge, of course. The loser of this matchup goes home basically empty-handed. The winner will progress and at least gain some 6 invitational points, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, you say basically empty-handed. It is actually empty-handed. So I would definitely say whoever loses this match is not going to be happy. Or, sorry, I should say this series. Nomad taken off the board, obviously, for that flank watch. I like the Valk ban as well. For a map where there's a lot of movement, a lot of roaming around. Intel, of course, is going to be pivotal. So both of those banned out by MercenarieZ.
Yeah, I like to take the map veto, or not the map veto, the operator ban phase to look at the team's history, try and ascertain as to what we can expect heading into this one. Unfortunately for MercenarieZ, really unfortunate, not a whole lot to go off, but 7th Heaven at least have something. They took down the Giants of all teams, 7-5, in Playday number 5 of APAC South this year. So, you know, not a bad result. Unfortunately, the Giants not in the playoffs, so arguably not a huge test, but in terms of, for namesake, still a very good opponent and a good result nonetheless to bring into this one.
Yeah, let's get started. It is going to be 7th Heaven on the defense first. As I mentioned before, in what is a map that you would typically suspect to be slightly more attacker side, it has got that sort of coastline vibe to it. As I said, there has been instances where defense can rule, and one of those sites being Bar Gaming. This is notoriously the site to play for defense first up. It's just a little bit harder for the attackers to take it, and compared to the other sites, especially here on Chalet, where where it really opens up is like Snowmobile Wine Cellar, and then anything that is in relation to, say, kitchen dining, for instance, or even master bedroom and office is not exactly the most defender-sided site. So this is the site 7th Heaven need to be winning, and well, when MercenarieZ on the defense, they also need to be winning Bar Gaming.
Yeah, you say that, but not to throw it under the bus, but Chalet is like a super hard map at the moment to ascertain attack win rates, right? So you look at APAC North, for example, where Bar Gaming was played equally least with a 56% win rate to the defense. On the other hand, in South, Chalet, 38% was the defense win rate for Bar Gaming. It was the worst win rate on the defense, despite being a decent sample size of 8 rounds. I mean, that's what the stats are telling me, man. That's what the stats are telling me. Don't knock me down. Numbers don't lie.
Oh, they don't. But there's a reason why 7th Heaven are going Bar Gaming first up. So I don't know what else you want me to say. Sometimes statistics aren't everything.
They can be
you can't follow. Yeah, they can be. You can't follow them blindly. You got to look into them. Maker, though, with a very early opening pick. 2 minutes 40 into the round. And he gets the pick onto Pika. That's a big pick onto Pika. I'm sorry, I went through that again.
I hope you pick up your meme game as MercenarieZ look to pick up their game inside the server. I don't know what was worse, your little pun there or my segue. They're both pretty horrible, but there could be another gunfight taking place inside of Piano with Ray feeling the pressure early, forced to fall back and play behind the Vulcan shield placed at the top of the stairs.
What is this positioning for Bar Gaming? Is this like a fake site or something? I'm a little bit confused right now. So much defense is orientated over towards office. Yeah, okay. Sorry, not yeah. Well, I mean, this, I guess, wall watching library stairs corridor is something from MI7 as he pushes in. This is going to be interesting. The shield above as well, on top of library stairs, means that Ray's playing super aggressive right now.
Really depends on whether or not they can clear this shield effectively. That ADS eats up the first grenade, and Ray is feeling pretty comfortable to hold this position. He's holding down the fort, lights up his Sib. I think finally he'll be forced back. No, the shield's still standing, but it doesn't matter. He is eventually taken off the board. The nade will confirm that kill from MI7. Now the players inside of library like Souffle. In fact, it's only Souffle under a whole lot of pressure. He needs to go nuclear here.
So there's still one that's now going to come up library stairs, take that position that we saw from Ray. That's what? Team kill from Hasib onto MI7. This is some sort of opening round to start Chalet. Souffle swings out over at the mezzanine, and now he's got a second one onto Hasib as well. How the tables have turned. 3 versus 2, favor on the side of 7th Heaven. Fatara and Maker haven't exactly got a whole lot of time. They're not even remotely close to bar games either. And Souffle's got full control of the mezzanine. I don't see a way MercenarieZ wins this.
This round has been flipped on its head. Fatah really needs to find a pick here on the top floor. But as he approaches the window, it's the player from inside of bar to shut him down. A really cheeky angle here to find that pick. Definitely felt like that was going the way of MercenarieZ for the most part, but once they committed that team kill, the momentum just completely halted, and 7th Heaven capitalized really nicely, and Souffle did have the impact required above. Yeah,
full credit to 7th Heaven there to hold their nerves. MercenarieZ never really even got out of office. I mean, they basically got into office nice and early, and then they were kind of shut down. That position from Ray, top of library stairs with that shield, with the Vulcan shield, proved to be quite pivotal. Did get eventually eliminated, but then from there, we saw Souffle push out to the mezzanine and pick up a nice double and just kept control of that upper floor. Never, not once, did MercenarieZ even set eyes on bar gaming. They didn't even look at the site. So good defense from 7th Heaven, as expected. We now go over to bedroom and office, which originally when I first started having a look at Chalet, I thought this would maybe be the site defenders would choose. Bar gaming ended up at least becoming the preference for that first option. This has now taken the second option spot, though. See what MercenarieZ can bring to the table to try and disrupt 7th Heaven.
5 seconds to insertion.
7th Heaven leaning somewhat into information gathering. ED on the Echo can roam those yokais around and gain information for the roamers. Pika, the MX4 Storm, can really cook up a storm, I guess. That gun's super powerful alongside his ability to also gain information. Spirited can deny drones, and Souffle can slow down the attack as well. So pretty formidable lineup here from 7th Heaven. MercenarieZ on the flip side, though, have a lot of explosives to deal with these. 2 nades, 2 explosives from Maker, and 3 from Snow. So no shortage on the side of the attack to deal with what has been established. Ray from the drone hole. MI7. That's a flashback to the old days of Chalet, when teams used to defend down here. It was potent then, it's potent now, and that's a great opener.
I was going to say Ray was already lit up there as well. I don't think he was ever going to be able to make it really back up onto site. Very important to, of course, have this kitchen control for the defense and just deny that vert. But this is a shambles of a defense from 7th Heaven. Oh, Pika with a quick double. Has just at least brought this back, as Snow is also going to be eliminated after being downed earlier. So it's a 2 versus 2. Oh, the swing! He's got 4 in the round. Meet your maker. Pika with 4 kills now. Looking for the ace. I thought, honestly, MercenarieZ had this one in the bag. Edie does get lit up on the Echo, and he can just play these trophy stairs with all these ADSs still to his device. He also has the diffuser down below, but he's not going to play off it. I think Fatah did have to vault in to get it.
I think it's important that Pika and ED play careful here, right? They're both super low on HP. Fatah with the AK could well and truly win this round. So Pika needs to not get too greedy here and try and find this pick. Instead, just trade out ED and get this round win on the board.
Did he get that Yokai drone? I'm not sure if he actually did. I thought he might have missed it. ED got to be careful, but he just swings right after a little peek left, and 7th Heaven stealing that round courtesy of Pika with a 4K. They go 2 up here on Chalet.
Just a little bit of action going down over towards Trophy for 7th Heaven. And it is, of course, the defense that survives and wins the round. I did think there was a small window of opportunity for MercenarieZ to get back into it, but really well traded at the conclusion of round number 2. And as we head into round number 3, 7th Heaven are now positioned nicely to take 3 straight. We know that that is often a good sign for the defense, and it's not really looking like it's going to be slowing down. MercenarieZ need to adapt quickly and Try to cook up something here. Not allow these individual players to make big plays and bring back rounds that should otherwise be going towards the attack.
Attackers need to locate and
I feel like I've seen this clash before on Wine's snowmobile. It must have been 7th Heaven who played it. I don't think it was successful. I can't recall the matchup, guys. You might have a better memory than me.
A better meme. I can do a decent. I can do a decent meme. Sometimes. In fact, I don't remember though. Honestly, I have a similar inkling to you that we have seen a clash play down below by an APAC
we definitely
team.
have. I just couldn't recall the matchup. But
if it was anyone, it was probably that. It probably was.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily successful though. It did buy a lot of time, and it was a nuisance, but it wasn't successful.
Actually, no.
So
I remember. Sorry to butt in. No, I remember.
Yeah, no, go for it.
99% sure it was 7th Heaven, and they played the clash predominantly down the bottom of the main stairs. Right? They played it next to the cupboard, trying to hold the stairs, trying to hold the main breach. But it didn't really work out. He ended up just getting completely dumped with utility, which is just the way to deal with clash. So it didn't quite work out. But at the very least, if 7th Heaven decide to play it in a similar fashion to that, they might be able to just drain some utility. And you know what? Spirited, he's just going to have to take the L in that column for this round. But if he does his job and soaks some of that utility, then it might not be the worst outcome.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And a good opportunity to go around the world here on Chalet, which would be disastrous for Mercenaries as well. This is the site they're expected to do well on. And I tell you what, if they can't do well here, they are in a bit of trouble. So, 2-0. Where does Mercenaries go from here? They're down 1-0 in the series. Both rounds, I mean, have been in their hands at one point. They've had advantages. They've been in good positions in both of the opening rounds, but failed to capitalize. This might be the round that actually 7th Heaven get off to a good start and just run away with this third round. Am I 7? Seeing what he can find. Oh, there's a ping, and that's going to be a nice little wall bang onto Souffle through, I think it was the bar desk.
Ray, though, looking to reclaim that position behind the bar. No one on the main stairs contesting it in the meanwhile. The Mercenaries need to be mindful that they don't let this player slip away, but he's being called out, and Maker can capitalize. Looks to quickly flick onto the player on the library stairs. That's ED. Snow just sending it, gets shut down, and that could be the opening that 7th needed to try and bring this one back.
Got the Rick and Morty skin as well. Minute left in the round. ED holding that library stairs close. Makes it very difficult for Maker to, of course, push in, and it denies this library stairs. ED doesn't have to swing too much here. Can just hold this position, try and buy a lot of time, and deny that entryway. Spirited yet to get involved. Oh my goodness. So close to being eliminated, of course. Any little bit of damage is going to be able to finish him off. ED expecting the push, and Maker's now going to make that push, the swing. Unsuccessful from ED. Maker's at about half health, so it won't take much. ED is getting very antsy here with only 30 seconds left in the round. He knows that Maker's going to push at any second.
Pika as well still has yokai drones that could be used. That scan could prove critical. The players begin to fall. It's ED left to post up here on the stairs. He does find one, but there's still 3 left. The player inside of blue will swing, and Hasib will connect. Mercenaries get their first round win on the board with a convincing execute.
Yeah, and it's the site that they are expected to win as well. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Mercenaries, but I mean, you want to be winning Snowmobile Wine, and they've done that. That's the minimum. That's the pass mark, really. Now you've got to go and get at least, at minimum, another one, whether it's Bar Gaming, whether it's Master Office. Need to at least at minimum have this be 4-2. Still a really good opportunity to make it 3-3. But this is what I was saying before, guys. You know, Chalet, you sense as attacker sided, and statistically it may even say it's slightly attacker favored, but we're seeing this trend, at least in the APAC region, and so far today, where it has been slightly defender sided, and not just Chalet, but even some maps in general being defender sided that are usually attacker sided. So 7th Heaven with the opportunity to keep that trend alive, keep that going here. Back over to Bar Gaming, where it was a little messy early on, but then they got it under control pretty quickly, and from there they actually held it out pretty good.
Yeah, I would expect again for top floor to be where all the players go down, and again, very similar setup here from 7th Heaven. They have the shield over towards the pillar, the shield at the top of the library stairs, and it'll be up to Mercenaries to create lines of sight, clear the projectile denial, and clear those shields as they see appropriate. I think Souffle was really the linchpin for 7th Heaven in that last occasion. Mercenaries were dominant for the most part, but he just bunkered down inside of library, swung at the perfect time to find a couple of picks and turn the tide in that round. So Mercenaries, if they can clean up their act a little bit above, they might be in a better position to convert that in towards site control and consider a plan or trade out for picks.
And it's very quick. It's very easy to quickly turn around your fortunes. You know, Mercenaries kind of staring down the barrel already nice and early here at 2-1, going into Bar Gaming, expected to go 3-1. But you win this, you take this side away from 7th Heaven, you make it 2-2, and suddenly you're actually right in this half. Ray, though, with the opening pick onto Snow, that's going to make things difficult. The Sophia taken off the board, nice pick. And being down a player this early on, again, further bad news for Mercenaries, and I struggle to see how they're going to be able to take this site.
And with the Runegates and the ADS devices, Snow's lack of presence will be felt by Mercenaries as they try and clear these shields. Good roam player there onto peak, or at least evens out the man count. But with ED still on the flank, you would expect Hasib to set up those Argus cameras, and does so. Of course, Snow, whilst dead, can sit on those cameras and call out the flank. But this is where it starts to get tricky. Mercenaries have limited utility to clear this shield, and they need to use it efficiently.
Minute and a half remaining in the round. Ray, of course, got dealt with in the end last time out. This time, Vulcan Shield Gaunt may have to just fall back here. In fact, doesn't even have time to do so. MI7 gets his second kill for the round. Mercenaries with the advantage after losing that opening player in Snow really early on. They've fought back quite bravely. But it's Souffle that they're going to have to really deal with. Last time out over at the mezzanine, he ended up finding 2-3 kills and was really a nuisance. And now they've dealt with him. They got rid of Edie and Spirited in a 1 versus 4. The clutch god, the king of 1vx's. But even a 1v4 might be just too much for Spirited. Mercenaries have somehow shot their way into a winning position here on Bar Gaming to tie it up 2-2 and keep their playoff hopes alive. Spirited, unfortunately, so many players to deal with, so many angles, and yeah, it's just unlikely to happen here. Hasib will finish the round off, put him out of his misery. 2-2 on Chalet. We've got ourselves a game, guys.
Despite it being a dominant end to the round, it was actually quite close there as they tried to clear that shield. It was, in fact, I believe, the final grenade that cleared that Vulcan shield. If that had not have hit the mark, that round likely would have played out completely different, and it likely would have gone in the way of 7th Heaven. So it's pretty crazy how one small piece of utility can have a larger impact on that defense. It was also a good clear in the end by Mercenaries. On the remaining players above, Souffle was shut down, and then on the vert, a couple more players, and it was definitely a lot cleaner than their last attempt. Definitely some good signs for Mercenaries, and I guess that's a testament to their ability to adapt. They were faced with a very similar defensive lineup, but they cleared it in a much more efficient manner.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Good signs for Mercenaries as well. You know, you lose the first 2 rounds and you start to wonder, is this going to slip away from them? Is it going to be too much? But they've fought back well. Taking Bar Gaming as well is impressive. And this was sort of round 2, this Master Office site. This was theirs for the taking. This required a big effort, I believe, from Pika, who got a 4K to turn the tide around if we sort of cast our minds back. So this was another site that Mercenaries almost won last time, just like Bar Gaming in round number 1, where they really let it slip and they let it fall by the wayside. This time they may be able to go all the way. They get this site, they at least secure 3 rounds at minimum in the opening half on attack for Chalet. And I think they'd be more than happy with this, then going over to the defense and seeing where their fate will lie.
Shots rain out in the early stages of this round as Mercenaries look to gain some quick map control and try and scare these defenders away. Presence established over towards the top of Library stairs, and I would assume Mercenaries will contest that. go for a horizontal take over towards the objective. ED is in a pretty powerful position. He has a reinforcement covering his back. And he could look to play off that alongside Souffle.
Does have to be careful though, especially if two players are going to push in library at once. Could get outnumbered before he even knows it. Usually for this site, you'll see Solarium be sort of the target for the attackers. Trophy Stairs, of course, is a very pivotal position. That's why you're seeing that player holding library stairs, Trophy Stairs. And Ray had put 2 ADSs here last time around. I think I could hear a couple. He's got all 3 this time. So 1:40 seconds left. Trophy Stairs is going to be hard to take.
Deployable shield in sight. Was taken down there, and Spirited's position is now quite exposed to the double window if he wants to move around. On the flip side though, Mercenaries on the attack. Solarium is popular in APAC. This is a well-drilled setup, but Pika, he could pull it apart. He gets the first onto MI7. Is there a player inside of Trophy yet? I don't believe so. They're still outside, but he is ready and waiting for that vault.
Another opening pick going the way of 7th Heaven.
Oh, there is a player.
So far, I don't even think there's been a single successful capitalization on the opening picks though in Chalet. So that could actually be a bit of a curse here. They look to break that trend. Ray, though, you could see the silhouette in the forefront, eliminated by Fatar. 4 versus 4. Peak is still the player that you would have to suspect is going to make a big play here in Trophy. Oh, he just completely whiffed. Ended up shooting the floor underneath Snow's feet more than his feet itself. Spirited with a big clutch hit, though, onto Fatar. He's going to have to be big, and he knows exactly where that diffuser kit is as well. Throws out the smoke grenade. Souffle can swing. They can actually pinch from both sides here, looking into Solarium with 20 seconds left. You have to think 7th Heaven, but Snow with a big shot. They've taken control of Solarium. Souffle just sitting in Master Bathroom, has not swung yet, has not made his position known. He's going to get the hip fire spray. Now the swing link with a second. He stops Hasib. Diffuser on the floor. Mako on the rappel. He's not going to be able to win it. 7th Heaven, by the skin of their teeth, will take their 3rd round.
What a play there in the late round. Absolutely huge. Maker just left absolutely stranded on the double window. A great position to hold if the rest of your team is alive, but unfortunately they drop to the swing. And the aggression from 7th Heaven does not go unnoticed. They get another round on the board. They establish a lead, and they'll be looking to extend that as we rotate back towards Bar.
And Bar Gaming has been, well, mixed results, really. I mean, the last time we saw it, obviously, wasn't very long ago. It was only round number 4. And for 7th Heaven, it was pretty messy. I think they made more mistakes than anything. The first time we saw it, though, it was actually the opposite. MercenarieZ just gave away too many lives early. I think we even saw a team kill in that particular round. So we haven't really seen Bar Gaming played to perfection. I'm going to be completely honest. It has been a little messy. So I'd like to just see 7th Heaven tighten up here. They don't have to get too aggressive, play it safe, and maybe mix things up a little bit. Souffle's been holding Mezzanine. Ray's been holding top of Library. It's all a little bit too predictable now. It will make things easier for MercenarieZ. So I would look to see 7th Heaven maybe just tweak things slightly.
We'll have to see what they tweak, though, to try and reap those benefits. So far, it is looking very, very similar here, to be honest. Reinforcing the same walls, placing the same shields, and I guess they're just hoping that they can hold out a little bit longer and maybe banking on MercenarieZ making a mistake with their utility clear. It hasn't been flawless. And there is only a small window for error here. If Hasib or Snow die early or they don't use their util correctly, then 7th Heaven could find themselves in this round quite early. It's just going to depend how aggressive 7th Heaven do play in order to get themselves in that potential position.
And that last round that we saw, the opening kill, it was Pika. That was the first time that the team who got the opening kill capitalized and actually went on and won the round so far in Chalet. So look to that as now being the curse broken. Snow straight into office. They'll see the Sawyer gates again, as they have done so in the previous rounds. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. That's the time here for the final round of this first half. Second map. Should mention, for those who maybe didn't see the first map, it was Clubhouse. It was 7-4 to 7th Heaven. Snow looking to take control of Piano. Frost trapped in a different spot. And this is what I was just asking for them, guys. Tweak things up a little bit. You can see the difference in the positioning of Ray. Souffle in the same spot, but Ray a little different.
Nasty angle here from Maker, watching the top of that deployable shield at Pillar. Souffle playing that position, kind of a little bit stuck now, but Ray can play quite freely. Doesn't spot the drone in the hallway. Oh, that's an awkward vault. Maybe he meant it. I don't know what Ray's doing, but he gets away with it. Almost shot in the back of the head. That would have been absolutely disastrous had he fallen, but he lives to see another day, and Mercenaries still haven't cleared this utility.
Souffle knows that his position's vulnerable. He knows that he has to be careful when standing up, that Maker's got a bit of an angle. He can see it through the shield, the Vulcan shield, so he's going to maybe try and look to fall off that, change that position so that he can maybe be a little bit aggressive if required. Because if he gets swung on and he can't stand up and he can't really fight back because Maker's watching his head, it will make things difficult. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does look to sort of play off that shield a little bit more, maybe falling back. There's a minute left. He doesn't have to get too aggressive though. So we'll see what Mercenaries are going to do here. They're going to have to start to push over to this site. As I said, the first time that they played this, Mercenaries did not even see bar gaming. They never even saw the site. They got obliterated before they got close to it. Now they got top of library stairs controls, but it's Spirited with the opening pick onto Snow. 37 seconds left. No Sophia once again. Fatar's not even in the map. He's only just now making his way in. They're going to have to rush onto site, guys.
Yeah, 30 seconds left. Decent control above, but Mercenaries need to try and find a pick or two before this execute. If they go for the trade out, you'd expect them to lose. Time trickling down, no one really making a play, but MI7 does get an opening.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Souffle just sitting below him buff. Fatar's going to push in. He's got MI7 for at least a bit of cover, but it's Ray who gets rid of it. Souffle with a swing. The aggression right into the face of Mercenaries, and they don't know what's hit them. And once again, they do not step foot inside of bar. 7th Heaven with a commanding defense here on Chalet. 4-2 up in the series. In the match. And they edge closer to series point.
Well, if there's anything we've learnt in this match so far, if you want to win bar gaming on the attack, you cannot rely on it going down to an execute. You're either going to, one, not clear the utility above and eventually lose picks and lose the round. Option 2, you leave it down to a 5v5 execute on site, and it's going to be very, very tough to trade out. You're probably going to lose. Or option 3, and the more favorable for the attack, is clear that utility above, find those picks and prevent the rotations back towards the site to just completely nullify any execute. Unfortunately for Mercenaries on that occasion, didn't quite go their way.
Attackers need to locate and
Really good adaptation from 7th Heaven to manipulate, I guess, the scenario to their advantage, able to rotate back towards the site very quickly. And they just could not be shot down.
And this is where now, as we switch half and we go into the second half here in this second map, Mercenaries have already chosen a bit of a different lineup for this bar gaming, right? There's no Goya, there's no Aruni, so it's already slightly different. They've elected to go for the Alibi, and they've also got the Melusi. They do keep the Frost, and which is interesting because we haven't really seen, again, the Frost mats really being too prevalent. They don't necessarily need to be. You do get the deployable shield as well. So Mercenaries are going to play this slightly differently. I mean, I say slightly, but the setup's already with the both shields. They're almost identical, actually. I'm going to almost just retract what I was going to say. I thought they'd play a little differently, but it seems they're shaping up for the same and similar hold.
Yeah, it's definitely on meta at the moment. I can't speak necessarily on behalf of other regions, but at least in APAC, this tends to be the trend. The main difference is they've actually not reinforced the wall into office, I don't think. They made footholds, so maybe Mercenaries will be looking to play a little bit more aggressive off that.
There you go.
Can see that from Snow's POV, so expect him to get quite aggressive with the carbine in hand. And basically that means that the attack can't sit in there safely, like we did see from Mercenaries, where they opened up sort of the right side and then able to swing from the left. So that might change up the dynamic a little bit, at least for the attack.
And the other part, of course, there's no Sawyer Gates, but most importantly, there's the Banshees as well. So that's going to be a little differences, at least. I mean, it's the same strategy, but it's just tweaked slightly between the two teams. And it is still going to be a very difficult site for 7th Heaven to take. ED is going to send in that Gemini that does get taken offline, as we heard the voice line. So I think one thing that Seventh Heaven need to know here, and they've had the fortune, of course, of defending this now for 3 sites worth over the last couple of rounds. They need to make sure that they play to time. They can't just get down to the last 20, 30 seconds and look to rush into site. As you said before, it's not going to work out well. So they need to clear out, get control of this top floor, get control of library, and a lot quicker than what we saw from Mercenaries.
Yeah, unlike Mercenaries, Seventh Heaven have brought a lot more nades to the table. 4, in fact, but Souffle finds the first, not with his grenades, but with the G3T6. Maker does get one back, though. Wow, trades flying left, right, and center. You would expect this to favor Seventh Heaven as they gain control. And at least if they need to trade it out late round, they have that advantage, which could prove critical. MI7, though, lurking towards the stairs and needs to be shut down.
Does have to be careful though. That shield is gone. So if he peeks at the top of library stairs, he's vulnerable, and that's why as he peeks, he shoots immediately. Now falls back. So it's kind of like that last little bit of defense from MI7 to just try and buy some time. Now falls back to that first floor section of the library stairs. And this is what I was trying to say for Seventh Heaven is time. But the difference is they've got control of library with 30 seconds left. It's not great in terms of time, but they're already in a better position than what Mercenaries were in the last round. So Mercenaries have now collapsed onto site, all 3 of them. Seventh Heaven can actually push into site. They can trade because they've got that man advantage. But will they catch MI7 over at Fireplace Stairs? I don't think they're going to be ready for this.
Oh, MI7 actually downs the player of ED, but it gets immediately traded there by Spirited, coming up clutch once again. It's his Sib in the 1 versus 2, but he denies the play. It doesn't matter. Pika clutches up with the SMG. Narrow margins in that round, but he clutches up when it matters.
I thought for a second that Hasib had maybe won that for Mercenaries, guys. I think even you thought for a split second that might have been enough, but Pika finds the double at the end and makes sure of it. That Seventh Heaven have a commanding lead here on Chalet, 5-2. There's no denying who this tac pause is for, that it's surely for Mercenaries. I don't even care. Look, what do they do now, Guz? They have to repeat bar gaming. That's a given. But
ooh, do they? I mean, it's a tough one, right? I don't know.
The only other option is master bedroom and office.
Well,
That's
I mean, they've already locked
option.
it in. They've already locked it in, right? We're in the reveal.
Well, no,
phase,
I mean, but like in terms of the option
that they had.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'd say that was still a pretty close round. If they tidy up a little bit, I don't see any reason why they couldn't win it. They didn't lose it by a disastrous margin, so I wouldn't be too concerned. I did actually just quickly take a peek back at that round, and it was 4 seconds left on the clock when that when that trade came through there from Pika. So really tight margins in that round. A hectic round at that. A lot of gunfights going down in that mid round above, and honestly, it's probably going to be a very similar tale here on the reattempt.
Same lineup for Mercenaries, not going to shift too much. And it is going to be same as well for Seventh Heaven. I mean, why not? I mean, the beauty of this 5-2 lead now is that for Seventh Heaven, they can afford to lose bar gaming and get Mercenaries locked out of it. So they've got this really bullish lead that they can look to either extend and get that match point, which would probably put this series to bed, or at the very least, even if Mercenaries does win this, they've still got a long way back. So the pressure is firmly on Mercenaries. I mean, they're on the ropes. They are 1 punch away from being knocked out, realistically speaking here, because they're already down 1-0 in the series. You're down 5-2 on Chalet. It is not ideal for Mercenaries to be in this position. They need to dig and claw their way out of this really big hole.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Basically an identical setup being brought to the board here. Footholds inside of offers, 2 default shields, and we're also seeing the Jaeger and Wamai combo being utilized by the defense in an attempt to cover said shields. I'd like to see them maybe get in their face a little bit more on the entry, try and play a bit more aggro. This is what I like to see. MI7 over the woods, West Main. I mean, it's probably the last operator you want to die early, considering he has a regenerative... That's not even a word. What am I talking about?
What?
He has a gadget that regens. That's a much nicer way of saying it. So if he dies early, then his impact is almost nullified or basically is nullified for the remainder of the round. So risky to have him on the roam. If Seventh Heaven decide to target him, oh, it could be dangerous. But as I say that, MI7 actually does get the pick onto Ray. And with the Jackal taken down, that actually makes his roam even easier. Or not.
I was going to say, I really, really like this, though, from MercenarieZ, right? Because the roam game down below is enabled by the fact they have control of library stairs. So they can do what they really want. They can, push all the way to the other side of the map, and then they can come back, and they've got library stairs control. So I like that they're, of course, just maneuvering around the map a little bit differently. This, of course, buys some times. Maybe gets them a pick, like we saw earlier from MI7 getting the pick onto Ray. 4 versus 4. Now, of course, 7th Heaven with a minute and a half. We'll start to try and clear these shields, clear this top of library position. Snow's going to hold the angle for now. He has to actually get pushed forward because of that impact grenade. He's going to get droned down. He'll look to push back down the stairs just to a bit of safety, hold that first floor position instead. Or maybe even go all the way down to basement. I don't know. But regardless, there's a minute and 14 seconds left, and 7th Heaven are knocking the door down.
Well, Snow quite literally knocking that door down as he tries to open up the rotation down below. And on the topic of rotations, Maker on the Alibi could play a key role in this round. No flank watch utility brought by 7th Heaven. They're relying on drones, but I think Edie has an inkling. He has a ping as well.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But that player doesn't commit to the flank, leaving it in the 4 versus 4. And with 45 seconds to go, waiting for the attack to really capitalize upon this control above, gain some vert, maybe find a pick or two, and try and get in towards the side.
Certainly don't seem like they're in much of a hurry. Just wonder if those fireplace stairs might be, once again, a pivotal play late in this round at some point. If there is any roamers still for MercenarieZ, 20 seconds left. It is going to be a late push. No, Souffle's got control actually down below. Oh, Edie with a quick double, lighting up that kill feed. Fighting back, though. He's going to be Hasib, Maker, Edie now pushing in on that Yana. Pika just holding this position now, and he gets swung on Hasib. Perfect. 1 versus 2 for Pika, but he misses those shots. Not going to be able to come up big. MercenarieZ, and a much-needed round win. Keep their playoff hopes alive here. 5-3 on Chalet. Nerve-wracking moments.
If MercenarieZ had have lost that round, things would have been things would have looked incredibly grim. A very important round to bank there, and they hold off that match point at least for a little bit longer. Now, of course, they were going to have to see them change up their site of choice. Gym bedroom. Oh, sorry, not gym bedroom. That's my favorite site on Clubhouse. Bedroom and office will be their selection. We saw 7th Heaven win it on their first attempt on the defense, and for MercenarieZ to stay in this one, they'll probably need to repeat that feat.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And it's certainly doable. I mean, the main thing here for Master Bedroom Office, you want to make sure Solarium's really difficult to take, play that trophy stairs position, have a player maybe towards kitchen, denying that vert, at least for as long as possible. You're going to look to obviously have control of piano as well. So really extending off site. I mean, that's really Chalet in a nutshell, isn't it, guys? Though just about actually almost all sites you want to play off site to some degree. So that is Chalet in a package. 7th Heaven, though. Right now, one thing that is noticeable is Ray kind of struggling. 2, 2, and 7 on the Jackal as well. You really want to be looking to him to be getting these opening picks, and so far unsuccessful in finding any in this attacking half for 7th Heaven.
Of course, looking to gain intel as well for the rest of the entry. Needs to scan those footprints and try and locate where these roaming defenders are located. They're all over the place. As you mentioned, Chalet very much defended indirectly, and this round, no exception. Good work there by Ray to take down the default camera, as we're going to see an interesting rappel on the western side. ED here with the Gone 6 in hand. He can blow open that castle barricade and really apply pressure on this player inside of bathroom. That's Fatah, potentially caught off guard by this play. And now he basically is forced to be mindful of this window for the remainder of the round and not allow anyone in for free.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just making sure it's not going to be a quick rush in through the window. I don't think he's going to be too worried about his position there. He can still hold it, as you can see. hasn't really done too much with it. ED, I think, just also held it for a second to see if anyone wanted to maybe take a swing, and they didn't. Nasib with the opening pick on to Pika. Big player to get rid of. That's the sledge off the board, and well, that's the power of playing below as well, and having this vert control defensively for Mercenaries. You can see it firsthand right there. Minute and a half remaining in this 9th round.
Souffle again running the G36 on Ash, finds a response. Still has 3 Ash charges in hand and could have an impact, particularly from below, but Maker trying to foil those plans, holding the stairs. I don't think Souffle is completely aware of that position, as Fatah does find a pick elsewhere. Oh, Sib, that could have been a massive advantage for Mercenaries. I think it was a Gemini either way.
Gemini.
So thank God he whiffed it. Would have been a lot worse had it have actually been ED. Mercenaries just need to hold on to this advantage. Do not throw it away with an ill-advised flank. Fatah gets a little bit over-aggressive on that peak, and just like that, it's a 3-on-3 as we edge closer towards this execute.
Yeah, no more time for Geminis. It's time for ED to push in and see what he can find here. Souffle as well. Spirited will make the rappel into Solarium. ED watching and holding trophy stairs as well. They've still got to clear out the bathroom. Hasib, Maker, Snow with a big Nitrocell kill onto ED. Makes it so difficult, but we know what Spirited can do in the clutch. He is the master of the feat. 15 seconds left in this round. Now it comes down to 1v3, but Spirit is shut down immediately. And the clutch god cannot make it happen. 5 versus 4, and we are starting to see the comeback for Mercenaries.
Ooh, that third map beginning to loom a little bit here. It's just like a little cloud in the sky beginning to hover over Chalet. Damn. It felt like 7th Heaven was starting to run away with it a little bit, but Mercenaries have completely tightened up on their defense. Basement, though, is going to be a really difficult test. This site, for the lack of a better word, honestly, it just completely sucks. Particularly in APAC North. In APAC South, it has been a little bit more fruitful, 60% defensive win rate. But on the flip side, in APAC North, which I think is also more reflective of other regions globally, 25% win rate for the defense. Horrible, with a solid sample size too.
And you might say, well, guys, why don't you then go play kitchen dining? Well, it's not the best site to play either, really. It's really difficult. You tend to see teams actually play kitchen as if it's bedroom office, right? You actually do a bedroom office hold above vertically and play it that way. So, look, it's a master of two evils. In the end, I guess we're seeing a bit more wine and snowmobile. But what's interesting was in the matchup that played earlier today off stream in Cyclops and Kira Esports, it was the opposite. We didn't actually see wine snowmobile. We were seeing kitchen. So there are some stark differences. Some teams will prefer basement. Some teams will prefer kitchen. In this case, Mercenaries do go down to basement, and while they're up against it, so they're going to have to figure out a way to counteract that statistic, as you pointed out before.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Offsite aggression here from the defense. This is what I like to see. Often teams shelter down inside of the bomb site and find it really difficult to hold on. Wow, that's a really crazy shield there from Maker over towards West Main. And in fact, he can hear the barricade, the castle barricade, getting punched open. He can call that out to his team, and maybe they can position themselves nicely here for the West Main push. In fact, a lot of information and time being denied here by Mercenaries on this roam. I like what I see so far.
Yeah, and that's really what you need to do for Snow Wine. You've got to deny time as much as possible. You need to be aggressive. You need to play offsite, and you need to find these picks. Make it really difficult for 7th Heaven to just even push onto or into the building as well. Oh, Maker just spotting the Gemini of ED for a split second. Oh, that's unfortunate for Maker. Timing not on his side. Souffle with the opening kill.
Great angle above there. Actually sees all the way down in towards the hatch, so I didn't even know that angle existed. But there you go, folks. Cheeky little display there from 7th Heaven, flexing their map knowledge, which, particularly when a map is new, can be incredibly powerful. With that, they do have the man advantage. Mercenaries roam weakened, and now they're forced really to hunker in towards the site. Try and desperately find a pick back, but it's very difficult to maneuver around this objective. There's a lot of lines of sight that can be generated by the attack, and provided 7th Heaven play off those effectively, the round really should be theirs.
Yeah, and there's not much that they can really do because they're down a player now. So if you start roaming off site, 7th Heaven can just push on freely. And now you're forced to turtle onto site. Gemini goes in, by the way. If you're forced to turtle in, but you're down a player. And as you said, you're turtling on a site that's so easy to really open up from above. So really difficult point here for Mercenaries. It's going to take a lot for them. So much so that MI7 tried to push up those library stairs and was unsuccessful. 5 versus 2. Yeah, this is not going to happen. Nice shot from Fatah, though. At least something. But it's not going to be enough unless Hasib can get at least a double. That was a perfect flash, though. That is seriously life-saving flash and just gives ED the chance to get the kill. And he capitalizes. He doesn't waste it. Fatah from above over towards Fireplace. Can push down the Fireplace stairs. Well, that's unfortunate for the smoke grenade. And well, look. Bit of comedy of errors in the end from Fatah. 7th Heaven take the site they were expected to take. And now they have series point.
That said, I still don't think it's too... obviously, it's series point, it's map point, I understand that, but it's still not unobtainable for Mercenaries to bring this back. We were not expecting basement to be a great site, and with the rotation opening up, they can go back towards bar gaming. I was nervous for a second. They picked basement, but they changed, thank God. Otherwise, I would have been absolutely fuming. Please don't go back down to basement unless you have to. They won't need to, in fact, because the rotations will open up. So yeah, that round was basically always going to be a gimme to the attack, to be honest. Now they can reset, go back towards bar, and try to execute that roam above inside of library nice and cleanly.
Yeah, spot on. You got bar gaming, and then you head over to master office. So, I mean, there is every chance in the world that Mercenaries actually sends this to overtime. They can do it. They've got the sites that are in the back pocket. They don't have to play Snow Wine. I mean, if they were in a position where, let's say it was like 6-3 guys, and Snowmobile Wine was still in, you know, on the table that they had to win, I would have said, no, there's no way they're going to come back. But they got at 6-4, bar gaming. It's from here. One round at a time. You can send it to overtime, and you can extend your stay in the APAC playoffs if they can then win in OT. Of course, 7th Heaven already on match point, so OT at a minimum for them, as they will be looking to attack this site, which, I mean, so far has been proven to be mixed results. It's actually 50-50 in both instances, the first half and the second half, guys. 1-1 apiece.
One thing that has been 100% consistent, though, in the second half is the team that gets the opening kill will convert the round win. For the most part, those opening kills have been coming before the halfway point in the round. Oh, Hasib sees the leg. Oh, that could have been devastating. May not have netted a kill, but at least had an opportunity to do some damage there onto Souffle. Either way, he doesn't see the player, doesn't capitalize upon that opportunity, and we just take a little bit of a breath as 7th Heaven start to drone out bedroom and office and convert that towards some of that pressure at the top of library stairs.
Yeah, and they need to do this quickly. I mean, we've seen it a few times now in bar gaming where time it really is a factor, probably more than any of the other sites. You've seen these like sort of 20-second pushes onto site, and for bar gaming, that's really not ideal. The rounds that the attackers have won it, they've had a little bit more time to really work the site, or they've had, say, a numerical advantage. If they're up 5-3 or they're up 4-3, for instance, that's when we're seeing the attackers really take the site. But if they're down a player or it's even game and the time is not on their side, they tend to lose it quite comfortably as well. So let's see how this one plays out. We're going to clear out those ADSs at the top of library stairs and really burn those along with the shield. Successful nade, but they do lose a player for it, guys.
It's a huge pick. If the trend continues, this should be penned in as a Mercenaries round. They need to be careful they don't overstay their welcome, though. They still have control over towards Pillar with that shield, but once that's cleared, they need to think about getting back towards the side. In a last-ditched effort to hold above, though, MI7 still inside of library. If he dies here and it gets back to a 4-on-4, it could be really dicey for the defense. On the flip side, though, if he does find a pick, that'd be huge.
MI7 just a little bit shaky there. Does get the drone eventually. Was expecting a swing to follow. Trades continue to just flow around the map. 3 versus 4 in favor of Mercenary, which is really the perfect scenario here for Bar Gaming. I would be very surprised if they lose it from here, but there's still every chance that it could happen. Fatah has a bit of damage as well, so he's not at full health. As 7th Heaven just starting to get now control. Well, they've got control of Library. They've got to start to get control down below, and I don't think it's going to happen, especially now in a 2 versus 4. Mercenaries, Guz, all but locked up now to send this to 6-5 and have the opportunity to send it to OT.
Oh no, that's devastating.
Oh no!
Oh, it blended in with the hatch. 7th Heaven had 6 drones alive, and they were still afraid that MI7 was tucked in the corner, and now it's really just falling apart, isn't it? Pika left in the 1 versus 4. Surely there's nothing he can do. He cooks a nade in an act of desperation. It's a martyrdom, if you would, as Snow cleans that up in the end. They get the round and they hold on.
What a mini comeback we're seeing from Mercenaries. 3 of the last 4 rounds to try and edge it now to overtime. Still match point for 7th Heaven. No. Oh, what are they doing? They're playing with our feelings right now. They're playing with our mental.
I know, dude.
Even just showing basement just gets the heart racing. It's like, no. Master bedroom and office. Yes, that's the play. So, Mercenaries being a bit cheeky there. Look, comes down to this, guys. APAC Playoffs on the line, match point. You win this site, you send it to overtime. You get a little breather. You can reassess things going into OT. Is this? You're out of the playoffs. No SI points, no prize money.
Ooh. Again, for both of these teams to be in this position, it's still a fantastic effort, but to walk home empty-handed, no points, it would be devastating, considering the amount of hard work and dedication that these teams have put in to get to this position and in preparation for this event. I think it's fair to say, though, it probably does deserve a 3rd map, especially considering Mercenaries putting up a fight against the opposition's map pick. Absolutely monumental feat so far. The job's not done yet, though, of course. They still need to get it to overtime. A very tough ask. That said, they have defended Master Offer successfully, and it was on their first attempt in round number 9.
Consulate would be the deciding match if it does head there, which I'm sure would be a fascinating watch with these 2 teams especially. 7th Heaven would not want to see the map, though. They want to get this one all locked up here on Chalet, whether it's here in regulation or if it's overtime. The stat you pointed out before, though, Guz, opening picks, 5 of 5 so far have related in the team winning the round. So look to that once again here for the 6th round in this second half.
Which team will get that first kill? Could be over towards Solarium. Spirited needs to be mindful of the smoke on the stairs in Fatah, who's been having a pretty impactful map so far. Of course, it could be on the other side of the map over towards Library as 7th Heaven look to take map control. That's Souffle in that position. Enters on the E1D. This could be a gunfight. Both players whiffing their shots.
Oh, no.
Souffle allows Snow to get away, but he's hanging around. He's hungry for a pick.
This is really rusty for both of them there. Oh, drops down.
Oh.
This is going to be very careful. There's a player down there.
Hallway.
Oh, no, it's actually even further below, I think. Yeah, coming up from basement now. So hard to tell with those silhouettes sometimes. 1.5. That was the second E1D from Ray. ED, got to win this shot. And he does. Headshot onto Snow. So vital. Has the identification onto Jaeger as well. That's Maker. Player over towards Bar for Mercenaries. This is a master bedroom office site hold. Spirited watching in Solarium. No one over at Trophy Stairs. Mercenaries playing really far off on this south side of the map.
Spirited can just take this. Literally, if he drones this, he can take this for free. I don't think there's any line of sight watching in towards this position. He can take Solarium, and then, honestly, they can convert on towards bedroom once the wall's cleared of utility. They do need to be mindful of the roamers. Mercenaries still with a player down below, and here we go. Control taken of Solarium. If they do this cleanly, don't get flanked, this should, by all accounts, be a 7th Heaven win.
Oh, Fatah's down. He's been down. Hasib, though, does catch Spirited. That's pretty bad. Hasib, will he go for the revival? He knows there's a player in Master Bathroom. He's going to go for the res. Ray, does he swing this? No, I don't think he has the information that he knows that the revive is coming out. He swings it anyway, loses the exchange. 2 quick kills. The Mercenary now has them at an advantage in a 3 versus 2. Fatah is low in health, though. Pika and ED, 2 players you would like to have up here, especially Pika. Nice headshot. Well, it wasn't in the end. Diffuser down, and it's only ED in a 1 versus 2 on the Jackal. MI7 Hasib to send it to overtime to keep the playoff hopes alive. He hasn't got the time. He hasn't got a clue. Mercenaries have their OT here on Chalet.
They hold on. They did it. 5 out of 6 rounds went in favor of the team that got the opening pick. Somehow they managed to defy all odds to bring this map to overtime. Absolutely insane. They commit to the aggressive roam. It manages to pay off. Oh, good opportunity to just take a breath. Need one after that round. And
yeah,
I think 7th Heaven are going to need to take a big deep breath, reset that mental. They've let this map slip away and potentially the series. This is big. Mercenaries, by all accounts, were down and out on this map and down and out in the series, but they have brought it back.
7th Heaven go to the attack as well. So, I don't know if that's good news. They kind of struggled on their attack. They only got 2 attacking rounds. So did Mercenaries as well. And again, what did I say in sort of the pre-map discussions, guys? Chalet, defense. Told you. 8-4 in favor of the defensive teams on Chalet.
Yeah, that's concerning. That is very, very concerning for 7th Heaven. No points like the regular season for an overtime loss. It's just not good enough in the playoffs.
10 seconds left.
In this occasion, it would send it to a 3rd map, which would be Consulate, and there's no doubt that's going to be pretty insane. Mercenaries need to just switch on here. I mean, not switch on. I guess retain their current confidence.
Retain this momentum that they've built up over.
Because they've been defending now for 6 rounds straight. This will be the 7th. I was having in my mind that they were switching sides, but that is not the case.
No.
And they should be able to just carry on with this momentum and pretend like this is just normal regulation.
They've won 4 of the last 5 rounds on their defense for Mercenaries. And as you said, it's about now just carrying that momentum on and just continuing to play. But the one thing that they've got to be wary of is this, thought that maybe they've been doing it for so long, at some point you feel like they're going to slip up. If it's here, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. You go down 7-6 and then 7th Heaven go on the defense here where, defense has been prevailing. So need to keep their focus at least for this round. And then if you're going to slip up in the next one, and then you can go back to defense again. So Mercenaries has a huge opportunity to send it to Consulate for the 3rd map. And as I said before, that's going to be so much fun. ADS goes down. EE1D is going to go out from Ray. 2 minutes to see who is going to get the overtime match point.
Shield cleared at the top of Library Stairs. Really good work there from 7th Heaven with over 1:40 left in the round. ED gets the opening pick again. Keeping in mind, he got the opening pick last round and the team didn't step up and convert it. Mercenaries were willing to re-roam and get aggressive, and they may well do something similar here, but it's going to be tricky. They need to retain control of Library Stairs, and that means that these players basically need to stand exactly where they are, and Maker feels the pressure, forced to swing. Ray gets in on the action as well. It's falling apart here in MI7 and Fatah. They need to come up with something absolutely huge.
Yeah, and Fatah has basically no health as well. This is disastrous for Mercenaries. It's been a fun ride to see them sort of bring this match back on Chalet, but overtime has not been kind to them in just the opening round of overtime. 4 versus 1. Fatah, not a chance in the world. Overtime match point, 7th Heaven. Mercenaries do slip up, guys. They couldn't quite do it for another round. They had done it so many rounds prior. But now it's overtime match point. 7th Heaven on the defense. You would suspect they will go bar gaming. Or maybe is there a chance for Master Office? We haven't actually seen it get taken by an attacking team, but surely to be bar gaming, right?
You would assume so. Yeah, it's going to get locked in here. And the main point to consider in this round is how efficient is that utility clear, particularly at the top of library stairs going to be. Secondary to that, at pillar. Those two shields are absolutely critical in this defense. I cannot overstate it enough. They are absolutely key. In that last round, 7th Heaven on the attack cleared it so early, didn't waste any utility, absolutely clean as you would like. And then MercenarieZ, rightfully or wrongfully, decided to try and retain control, overpeaked, got taken out, and the round slipped away. MercenarieZ would be looking to get payback on this round and do the exact same thing back. Just absolutely util dump those locations. They have the Sledge with nades, they have the Zofia with impacts, and they just need to be efficient, clean, get it done swiftly, and then get control of library and progress that in towards site.
Souffle, Edie, they've been the standout players, at least for me, for 7th Heaven. 13-2 and 8, 13-3 and 9. Pika not too far behind them as well, whereas I feel like MercenarieZ has been a more even contribution, except for MI7, who's really perked up a little bit in the last couple of rounds, 13-1 and 9. So, kind of the difference between the teams, it's like 3 superstars for 7th Heaven and a bit more of a team effort for MercenarieZ. Overtime match point, though. A win here for 7th Heaven in this round will guarantee them SI points as they will move on in the lower bracket. The MercenarieZ, they will get 0 points, 0 money, but only experience under their belt. 2.5 minutes to decide their fate. Will they send it to a 15th round?
MercenarieZ persisting here with the 0 pick in the hands of Hasib. We saw him use those Argus cameras, particularly for flank watches. MI7 gets the opening pick. So again, 2 rounds in a row, the attack will get the opener. That's huge. Surely the defense needs to find something back. Souffle! Oh, wow. How does he find that? Surely gets traded and does. We're only a minute into the round. It's a 2 versus 4.
What is going on?
This is absolutely insane. None of that utility is going to matter in this round. I prefaced it with so much importance. But it really just does not matter. I don't really know either. It's pretty insane. Oh, no makeup. Oh, that's huge.
No
it's screwed in 1-on-4.
We're going to a 15th round, guys. The 7th Heaven have just been obliterated. MercenarieZ will go back on the defense, and I think at this point you almost have to go away from bar gaming. Surely, Master Office, come on. It hasn't been taken by an attacking team in this matchup. Go there, please. Something different. Not for the sake of watching it, but for the sake of your chances, Mercenary.
That would be a big call to put all the chips on the table. Don't go basement, please, MercenarieZ. No. Don't go basement.
There it is.
All right, they do it every round. They're just keeping us on our toes, but at least they're changing it up. I feel like, honestly, it's starting to get to the point now where that site has just been played so much in this matchup that both teams just know how to counter-strat each other perfectly in overtime, right? It was just absolutely clinical from both attacks. This is the spanner in the works, though, for MercenarieZ. I love the fact that they're switching it up. They're going to Master and Office. In round number 9, they won it on their first attempt. On round number 12, they won it on their second attempt. So they have such a good form guide heading into this objective. And arguably, they're favorites to win this round and head it to Consulate. Absolutely huge.
And one thing I really want to bring up here, guys, is that we're seeing the attack really start to formulate a bit more in these latter rounds. The early rounds, it was very sort of defender-sided to a degree. But now as it's really getting close, we're seeing what the attackers can do on Chalet firsthand. And that's why we are seeing MercenarieZ go Master and Office to switch things up. So this is it. 15th and final round. 7th Heaven. If they win, they move forward in the gauntlet. They will breathe a very big sigh of relief. And for MercenarieZ, if they win, we go to Consulate. It's as simple as that, guys.
Ooh. It's crazy to think as well, the winner of this will take on Kira Esports. There's a real opportunity that we might see a bit of a South Asian derby, if you would. I'm sure neither team would want to knock the other out, but given the context and what's on the line, you have to do what has to be done. Still a long way away from that coming to fruition, though, especially if it does go the distance.
This round in particular as well is really going to highlight the mettle of Mercenaries. If they're playing off-site as they probably should be, if they're holding aggressive angles, if they have a player roaming, it really shows that they're not worried. They're not playing too safe. They're happy to take the game to 7th Heaven on their defense here, look to maybe find an opening pick. They don't have to do anything crazy. They don't have to do any silly swings and throw lives away, throw players away. But, you know, you see the player over towards Bar. They had a player over at Mezzanine. They're playing off-site. They're looking to be the team that gets the opening pick, and that's what I like to see rather than just turtling on site. I mean, you can't do it on Chalet regardless, but it really does just sort of highlight Mercenaries are in this, and they really will feel themselves and back themselves to win this round and send it to Consulate.
MI7 down below, going 16-9. It's been a massive performance from him. Oh, but he gets droned out. Souffle with the ping. This could be huge. Surely 7th Heaven can act on this intel. Oh my word, MI7, he gets the down. There's no way 7th Heaven are letting that slip.
Refrag? No, he didn't drop. He didn't go for it. Edie hasn't been finished off either. MI7 pretty much half health. Souffle just gets beaten up so low on the Ash, but Ray to cover. There's the opening pick in the end, but the damage has been done by MI7. Edie needs to get picked back up. Souffle probably needs almost a reset. This is not good for 7th Heaven, outside of the fact that they did get MI7. Now they're going to get to work in opening up this site, and do they still even want to bother trying to get this vert control over in Kitchen? Probably not. There's only 40 seconds left. They need another pick quickly. Otherwise, Mercenaries will send this to Consulate. Time is of the essence, guys.
They're trying to clear that utility from below to get the wall open. It works out. Hasib was almost taken down in the process. Wall now open with 30 seconds left. 7th Heaven with the man advantage, but 2 players critically low. Very winnable for Mercenaries.
7 drones for 7th Heaven. Intel still available. 1 more gas grenade as well for Tar. So he is going to be able to deny a little bit longer here for Mercenaries. 10 seconds left. Utility is going to be thrown out. Ray, you've got to hit your shots. You've got to cover here. It's going to be the smoke, though, taking out Snow. The Nitrocell from Hasib will catch Ray. Spirited getting that diffuser down. 2 seconds left. Souffle, though, what a position at Library Hallway. Mercenaries have won it, though. They stopped the plant. Hasib stopped Spirited. We go into Consulate.
They just let him run around the wall. We could see it there in the final cam. He just runs around the half wall, tucked in towards the site. Unbelievable scenes. We're going to map 3.
We are going
to map 3.
The distance here in the lower bracket. Mercenaries, by the skin of their teeth, send it to Consulate for the decider to see if they can continue their APAC playoff journey. Do not go anywhere. We're not done with this series. What a performance on Chalet. What a match.